And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Wrong Side Simulations, bringing you the best content from the wrong side of the airplane, the right seat. And as always, my name is Blake, and I am a real-world flight dispatcher aiming to bring you a little more context viewing experience. And today, we're having some technical issues. For whatever reason, my camera is not turning on. I think I'm going to have to unplug it and plug it back in a typical IT fashion. So for tonight, unfortunately, the only camera that we're going to have is my belly gut camera. I'm sorry, flight controls camera. So we'll have that when we're taxiing around and all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, you don't get to see my ugly mug today. So it is what it is. But today's mission, we are flying a Delta charter flight, the Anybuild's A330-300 with the GE engines from Salt Lake City, Utah to Glacier Park, Montana, aka Kalispell. And we're going to be doing like an early morning departure. I am using Flow. With Flow, it doesn't separate weather in the way that the default one does, where you can like adjust the time but leave the current live weather. I think it's going to be using historical live weather from the, this time frame yesterday. So with that, I might have to kind of do a little digging into historical METARs to see what the weather's doing, so I can make sure I've got everything in the airplane correctly. So just bear with me on that. But should be a fun little flight, about an hour and a half from wheels up to wheels down. We're going to be flying on VATSIM. We've got Tower online currently. Hopefully we can get out of here before he gets off. But other than that, Airbus, business as usual. So, as always, first things first, huge shout out to all of the channel members. Greatly appreciate you guys and all of your support. Wes and Dustin are both two of those guys. So thank y'all again so much for the support. I was going to read them out like I usually do, but that list with all the gifted memberships lately is extremely long, and the scroll function, like, it bounces around, and so it makes it really hard to read them, and I don't want to waste your time. Plus, I need to be in bed in like 2 hours to make sure I get my 8 hours of beauty rest. For you pretty people, you know what I mean. And by pretty, I mean ugly, pretty ugly, like me. But over to the chat, we got Wes. My man Wes is in the house. Great to see you, dude. Thank you for jumping in this late at night. What, it's like 11:19 your time. Dustin, howdy, howdy, my friend. Great to see you. Welcome aboard. Vaughn Williams. Yo, wrong siders. I like that. I don't think anybody has said that in the four and a half years I've been streaming. Shit, actually. Yeah, about four and a half years. I guess May will be 5 years of streaming. But I don't think anybody has said wrong siders. I like that. Thank you for dropping that one. That's nice. Very nice. Notorious, what's up, my friend? Great to see you, dude. Welcome everybody. Bringing you another wrong side red eye. And what's this crap about being ugly? You're fine. Shit. Tell me why Crystal and I have not consummated our marriage yet. You know what I'm saying? But also, she got off birth control, so like I haven't really been trying to. Knock 3 times off, hold you real tight. Oh man, that's funny. But yeah, again, so for everybody just joining us, there will be no face cam on this stream because for whatever reason my camera's not turning on. I think I need to unplug it, plug it back in. So you'll get to enjoy the beauty of the sim. We are on sim update 4, and I could tell a difference right away just in how fast everything was loading, how fast and snappy everything was in the main menu. So I think we're gonna get some pretty good performance. Today is the 9th now here on the East Coast. I believe on the 19th, Parallel 42 will be dropping Chase Plane, and having this performance boost with Chase Plane is going to complement each other stupid well, and it's going to make for some absolutely beautiful cinematic shots of the airplane. AJJ, my man, what's up? Great to see you, dude. Welcome aboard this early morning. Alright guys, well, I'm not going to waste your time. Like I said, we got 1 hour, actually an hour and a half from wheels up to wheels down. So we're parked here in the hangar. here in Salt Lake, and we're going to load up our folks. Somebody has some company, some big corporation has chartered us to take a bunch of their employees, a little over 200 of their employees, up to Glacier Park, Montana, to go, I don't know, do some hiking or some shit. So that's cool. Thanks for the money, big corporation. And yeah, let's get to it. Alright, as always, crew supply, ground control. Where are you at, CVR? Is the CVR on here? Got me in here somewhere. I don't know, whatever. Get that down to captain's side. We'll go ahead and do the AP fire test since it's right there in the way. ADIRS 1, 2, and 3. Nav logo's already on. Let's go auto the no smoking and on emergency exit lights. It's probably pretty chilly out here in Utah, so we'll get that on. Get that fire test as well. Looks good. Now over to the EFIS. We're going to get our flight directors on, constraints, VORs, and same on L captain side. Then continuing on down, get VHF2 to monitor, cabin, interphone. We'll want all of that stuff up. I can stop zooming. And then same all on this side. .5 over here. VHF2. Switch over to VHF1. I don't know. I shouldn't have to mess with the radios much on this flight because there's not really a whole lot going on, as you can imagine, this late at night. Alright, we have initialized the EFB already. Let's tell GSX to start boarding. And let's get to prepping the flight. So I need to pick up chase plane as well. Oh, dude, fuck yeah. If you don't have chase plane for 2020, I would imagine like you're not super familiar with how phenomenal it is, but once you have it 24, you're gonna lose your mind. All right, IRS monitor. We got 4 more minutes until it's aligned. GPS monitor gonna cross reference with my OFP whenever I get it pulled up off screen. All right, on the OFP we got north 4047, and then over here north 4047, and then west 11158, 11158. Perfect. Data, AC status, and our nav database is current. Now let's initialize. Salt Lake City to GPI, Glacier Park, Montana, which is Kalispell, Montana. No alternate. We are Delta Airlines flight 8800, cost index of 99, and we're going to be flying at 40,000 feet. Temperature up there is not 56, it is negative 66. Hella cold. Tropopause is 43,500 feet. Flight plan, Salt Lake departure, I'm going to assume we're going to be off of 16 left. So we're also pretty close to. Let's see, we have been cleared on the Rugged 3 halter transition. Insert that. Glacier Park arrival. We're going to be on the RNAV. Should be Zulu because I believe there's only one approach. Which says RNAV, RNP, runway 20. RNAV. Oh, that's 20. Okay. Bam. 20. No star, approach via, and we're going to hit it from FICA. insert that. We got 2 holders in there. Good job, any builds. Clear that discon. Missoula, or FICA, which will be our initial approach fix. It's gonna be a cool little approach. This is what it's gonna look like for you guys. So we'll hit FICA, come all the way down, here, just so y'all can see it, and then swing ding it around. Should be cool. Alright, so from there, secondary, I'm going to copy active, back to secondary, init, KSLC, to K, hang on, oh, look at something. Okay, it's got, oh, it's not recognizing my no, it's got the ECAM, it's just not recognizing the landing gear lever thingy. Have an update, but it's not for this airplane. Yeah, something's up with the computer because it's not detecting my camera either. Typical fun bullshit. Armchair Captain, how's it going, my friend? Hey Blake, again, congrats. The stream is too late for me as I have to get up. Ooh, yeah, go to bed. Have a good flight, and we'll try to catch the next one. Yeah, get some good sleep. Definitely don't stay up for this shenanigans. Yeah, appreciate you, my friend, and hope you sleep well. I didn't pick it up yet because I'd already moved to 24, but it's, oh yeah, you're gonna fucking lose your mind. All right, so Salt Lake, over to Salt Lake. Kind of recopying all this stuff. And then secondary departure off, yep. And then Salt Lake arrival. We'll come back to 16 left because it's 2 whole feet longer. I will say, since the update, how come GSX? I wonder if GSX even boarded anybody. Boarding passengers now. Well, it doesn't look like it. But since the update, they got rid of a different toggle drone camera binding. And so now with the one and only binding, it's back to doing this weird shit. When I hit the button once, it'll like, it's almost like I'm hitting it twice. And you know what, with that said, let's do this real quick. Let's try to fix that. Shift F. Let's try that. Alright, performance. In case we need to come back to Salt Lake. Well, here's the thing. I don't know what weather it's using. So the sim, it's 1416 Zulu. I'm going to look at the METAR at 1416 on the 8th. 120 at 7. Center's 3034. Says 3032. So yeah, so it's on the 1354. Okay, so I think it is using historical weather. Altimeter is currently 3029. All right, so we're gonna have to use historical weather, which is not that big of a problem. It just slows things down a little bit. Okay, winds 160 at 5. Temperature is 6. 3032. then Barrow Men's on 16 left, 44.31. Quick. Sorry, that's done. Leave that. Net, winds. The wind uplink. Go ahead and fire up the APU. How much fuel do we need? 36. Cool, so we got our fuel. Which means we can also go seatbelt sign on. Get the fuel pumps on. Okay, so we got our winds and it. Let's go payload. So fuel weight's 318.6. With a fuel weight CG of 26.1. Taxi fuel on the OFP is 1.2. Here we go with fucking any builds and they're bullshit. Watch, I can't zero this out. Yep, figures. Fucking cucks. Can't change it at all. Piece of shit. 45-minute reserve. Fuel planning. This needs to be less than 36. It is, by a lot. 36.1. Might skip this since, no, we'll just do that in route. Proc page KSLC 16 left. The takeoff number is going to be on runway 16 left. Let's call it dry. Air conditioning, any ice, all, force toga. What's the ceilings here? Broken 7,000. Let's do. Nah, we'll be fine. Force toga, no. And we'll send this to the FGC. Alright. Let's check our clearance. So we're cleared the Rugged 3 Holter DBS, Missoula FCA GPI, altitude of 40,000 feet. We're squawk 5301. Rugged 3 departure, Holter transition, maintain 240 knots until advised. Maintain 9,000. I'll just select it, make life easier. Let's see. Expect 40,000, 1097, partial frequency 22.8. 22.8's up there already, perfect. Alright. 3032. Same on the other side, 3032, and on the standby. Hey, Callie, what's going on? Great to see you, my friend. Welcome, welcome. I'm on this wrong side, red eye. What said I can't? I heard the date of 19th of V1 stream, but couldn't find anything on the website to verify it. But I guess it's true. All right, so here's how you know. Watch this. Parallel 42. So right here on the top, these are our indications. So on the 5th, flow released, which is this thing. So this dropped on the 5th, which corresponds with that. I don't know what this is. Maybe it's some sort of effects. I don't know. But then right here, the 19th, that is definitely chase plane. So, and then 26th, I guess we'll find out. So, Virtual Flight Diaries, how's it going, my friend? Burning the midnight oil? Yeah, that's it. That is it. I figured, you know, Crystal didn't play any pickleball tonight, so it's like, yo, you're not playing pickleball. Let me get some streaming in. So, here we are. Gonna be flying this Delta charter flight from Salt Lake to Glacier Park, Montana. Take everybody hiking and whatnots. Alright, let's close everything up. Get ready to get out of here. I wonder if I have to go manually pull those. I think I can do it from there. Jigging up them stairs. Alright, so we got the APU up. APU bleed. Disconnect ground power. Pull that, and let's get pushed back over. Why was it waiting? Let's go, let's go. Alright, fair pushback departure. Coded message, yes sir. It is pretty cool, ain't it? So for everybody that's just joined in, apologies for no camera tonight. My computer's doing its routine bullshit of failing to detect some USB inputs. So it's not currently detecting the face cam, but we do have at least this camera, so I guess it's something. We still have ATC on, so we'll go ahead and tune that up, 1905. Definitely slumming it without my radio tonight. So we basically have to ignore everything that the pushback on that. Pretty much have to ignore everything that the controller says as far as weather goes because we're using historical weather. Did I already set this? Oh well. Let's go. Alright, let's get rid of those chalks. Bro, are you kidding me? I gotta go out there and pull those two. Fire this ground crew. Beacon on, brakes release, clear to push. Will GSX pushes out correctly? We're about to find out. There we go, that's what I wanted to do. Alright, rolling one. Maybe. Interesting. So we had a whole bunch of pressure built up, then as soon as we switch the engine master switch to on, high pressure valve opens, but yet all the PSI just dumps. It's not very realistic. Rewind the time a little bit. It's kind of that early morning. Let's see, is this a good jet for just A to B stuff? I was planning some flights and could have done Delta A330-300 on both, but decided nah, because I wasn't sure. I've only done like one flight in this thing. I'm sure it's fine for A to B. Be good enough. That looks sick though. Alright, let's roll number 2. Hopefully it doesn't pull too far. I'm going to have to tell it to stop. I don't want to get out on this taxiway. Alright, so park and brake. And good start. Flaps 1, up 4.2. Alright, auto trims, I guess. That's interesting. Pube lead and a pube come off. See, and that's the thing, like when you've got these beautiful airplanes, like we have such a shitty camera system that's default in the sim, we can't really enjoy it, and it takes a lot of finagling to get the camera stuff right. It's like, for example, I had to put it in the drone, position the camera, and then tell it stop, like to get out of follow mode to get that. But now I need to make sure that I go back outside, hit Shift F, so that we don't leave our camera behind, and then go to drone camera when we're in Glacier Park to watch a replay, and then it tries to load all the way back over here. Alright, so we got the signal there out the way. We'll hit up ATC. I haven't heard anybody talk since we've been on here. 1905, Jeff1, 1905. Alright. Get my charts pulled up. Salt Lake Tower, Delta 8800 over at the Delta maintenance hangar, ready to taxi with information golf.
Delta 8800, Salt Lake City Tower, good evening. ATIS information hotel is now current. You want to pick that up on your taxi. Runway 16 left, taxi via Golf, Foxtrot Hotel.
Alright, we'll get the new ATIS, and then 16 left via Golf, Foxtrot Hotel for Delta 8800 Heavy. Alright, let's get Golf. And then, let's see, draw this out. Where's Foxtrot at? I don't see you, Foxtrot. Oh, okay, so I need to make a right turn on Golf. Okay. That's a little odd. It got me going the wrong direction, but no worries. We can do that. Alright, brake check. Pressure 0. Alright, main brief departing off runway 16 left on the Rugged 3 departure. First fix of Bubby up to 9,000 feet. Gross weight's 354.4. Flaps config 1 plus F. Fuel 35.7. V1's 132. V2's 145. Flight controls check. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full left, full right, neutral, flight controls checks complete. Clear left and right. I have like no, like I got terrain radar on, but it ain't picking up nothing. So I think I need to thing in here. Oh well. Maybe it'll show once we get off the ground. I don't know. That's weird. We should be seeing a lot of red just off to our right side. Gross weight comparison complete. Pitch trim 26.5% CG set. V1 VRP2 flex 32, 44, 45 flex 58. Flaps configurable plus F. Fuel 35.5. Flight controls checked. Ignition take off all green. Income status checked. PWS is on auto. TCAS code TR. Coming through advised when you reach complete. Lineup checklist. Runway 16 left. Full length confirmed inside outside. Min fuel. I'm gonna make some shit up. 32. We got 35.5 on board. Most of the normal bleed packs are set. Tower Delta 8800 is short of 16 left, ready to go.
Delta 8800 heavy. On departure, turn right, heading 295. The wind is 1107. Runway 16 left, cleared for takeoff.
Heading 295 on departure and clear for takeoff 16 left, Delta 8800 heavy. 295. See if I can remember that by the time we get up there. It's going to reset anyways. So runway track. Flying. Man flex, SRS runway, out thrust blue. 295, 295, 295, 295. 8 knots throw set. 100. Titty. Golly. Pause right. Gear up. Now. Up a climb. 400. 295. Heading. Thrust climb. Flap 0, speed checks, flap 0. After takeoff checklist. Gears up, flaps retracted, APU is off. After takeoff checklist is complete. Delta Star.
Delta 8800 Heavy, right, Salt Lake Center is offline. Frequency change to advisory is approved. Have a good evening.
Appreciate the service tonight. Have a great night. Over to Unicom, Delta 8800 Heavy. Pilots. Direct. Bubby. Direct. Up to 40 we go. Overclimb. And I'm gonna leave it in selected speed until we get above most of this terrain over here. Just don't hit the mountains and we're good. Yeah, pretty much. Fuck, that's pretty. You can say fuck in my chat. It's not gonna bother me none. Those mountains look so good. Yeah, man. That's Antelope Island right there off our left wing. If you ever go out there, you will find bison. You probably name it Bison Island instead of Antelope Island. Pop through these clouds. Yeah, we have no terrain on the nav display. I don't know if there's like some sort of data download, something I should. I don't know. So the rotation is definitely like off and odd. I hardly gave any back pressure on the stick, and like the nose just shot up, and I feel like maybe we drug a tail. It kind of sounded like we did. If y'all want to go back and hit the playback, it sounds like we drug a tail. About to do DFW to somewhere in Hawaii. I can't remember the name of it. That's nice. Man, you like those long hauls, don't you? I haven't flown any Boeing stuff since Worldflight. I just did not feel like hooking up on my yoke. And like on Fridays, I work from home, and I'll put an airplane in the air, hit autopilot. It was kind of nice flying Airbus on those days because I don't have a yoke, you know, attached to my desk, and in the way I can, you know, I have my desk available for work. But we're pretty much to the limits of all the Airbuses. I think the only bus we haven't flown yet is the 380, and after that, it's gonna be time to jump over to some yoke airplanes. Rewatching that takeoff right now. Yeah, that rotation. I don't know. That's always been my biggest problem with any builds is their rotate wall transitioning into normal wall. In the Airbus, it's always been super wonky. Kind of go in phases, long hauls for a bit, then some shorter stuff. Just got accepted into ITA for Pilot's Life 2. So I need to get back to Europe to work. There you go. I fly for Delta in Pilot's Life. I was flying for American for quite a while, and as soon as I got the real world job offer, it's like, all right, time to go switch it up. Jump into the Delta saddle. We did. I went back and heard the tale. Yeah, fucking MIDI builds. MIDI builds. Actually, I think there's 2 Airbuses we haven't flown. Haven't flown the A380, and we also have not flown the FS Labs 321 Neo, which is not a terrible airplane. Phoenix is still good, but not a terrible airplane. Alright, so next, what we ought to do, now we're above 10,000, I'm going to pull up historical METARs for Glacier Park, December 8th. We'll start it at 14Z and run it to 17. It's pretty good weather at our ETA. It should be winds from the south, 10 knots, 10 statute miles, overcast 3,600, temperature 4, dew point 0, altitude 3002. That'll give us an approach during the day where we'll actually be able to see some scenery. But if y'all want kind of a shittier approach, that doesn't even look current. Okay. Because last I saw, okay, I guess there was a, I was kind of getting some stuff set up. I had light rain. I feel like it should still be raining in the way that this radar looks. It looks rainy to me. It doesn't mean it's falling though. Got some snow mixed in there as well. When in doubt. Yeah. Oh no, yeah, they got light rain. Oh, they got at the very end over here. That's weird. That's really weird. That's like in the remarks section. Yeah, it's usually supposed to be right here. Anyways. So if y'all want a shittier, kind of more IFR-ish approach, we can go live time, but then it's going to be dark, so. But I'm down for whatever you guys want to do, whatever y'all want to see. It's all about you. I do this for you. Phoenix Neos are going to be so cool. I agree, especially Pratt & Whitney Neos. We'll get some extra functionality with the Pratts that we don't have with the Leaps, with the dual cooling functionality. And so you'll, on the pushback, you'll press dual cool. Runs for about 2 minutes, and then you can start engines, and the engines will start a lot faster. It's like, really though, where's the time to save that? Because you're having to run a 2-minute cooldown. But whatever. Still be neat. I'm sure they'll put out all sorts of cool media whenever those are getting ready to drop. Wes says can't wait for the 737 to drop for 2024. You and me both, man. In fact, I might as well just wait on attaching my yoke to the desk until that thing comes out. I mean, release has to be imminent. they have all these content creators putting out stuff, it's got to be imminent. So Josh, that's the one thing I can't do because I have Flow now, and so the way that Flow does it is you can adjust the time, but it's also adjusting the weather with the time, the historical weather. I haven't found. Get rid of that. I got rid of that stupid shit. I think that's the only weather selection in here. Under weather, live weather, random weather, yeah, then it's just presets. Yeah, I would just like want to change the time. And even in using these, I would think if I just change the time, then it's still gonna change the weather. Let's see. Let's try this one. Oh, that's what we want right there. That's what we want, son. Yes, sir. Okay. Perfecto. That's live. It's live weather. Okay, cool. We got it figured out. Perfect. Because it's like there's parallel 42 like cameras, and then Microsoft's. So weather, Microsoft weather. That toggle avionics master. That's dumb. Show? Oh, showcase. Must be a little bumpy looking at that wing bounce up and down. Wish I knew you were going to stream, would have flown along with you. Currently flying in the area. Oh, shit. Oh, are you flying into Jackson Hole? I think that call sign is a Jackson Hole flight. If I'm right, that's sad. That like I'm that intimate with Jackson Hole. Everybody that's been watching me for a while knows I love Jackson Hole Airport. About to find your ass. Where's the search? Yep, yep, I knew it. I knew it. Yep, kicked me. Yeah, man, look at you flying a 319 with sharklets, just like they do in real life. So I flew the inverse of what you're flying in real life. Flew Dallas to Jackson Hole, and I think it was still American 1883. Or it may have been American 1923. Maybe 23. They're making these call signs based off of the Yellowstone prequels of 1883 and 1923. And I believe that's largely because Jackson is going to service Yellowstone National Park. Like they have, West Yellowstone has an airport, but it's like very small, extremely seasonal. There's gonna be a lot more people in and out of Jackson Hole. That's probably why they do the call signs that way. see what my flight numbers. Yeah, there we go. So Dallas, Jackson Hole, America, 1923. Another thing I hate about any builds is you can't get any closer to the windows than this. So like, it's hard to see shit. Airbnb. So I'm working on booking the Airbnb in Atlanta for myself and my 3 colleagues. We go into ground school and OJT. I think I signed in with Google. Yeah. Roll through this and see. It says total of 15,000. That's wrong. Let's go book now. February 1st, July 31st, 4 guests. $591 monthly. Reserve. Today, 2483. Nice. It's even lower than what it was supposed to have been. Alright, cool. So it looks correct. let these guys know. Get this shit done. And after that, man, all we gotta do is just go. Sorry guys, so this is like a time sensitive kind of thing. The only reason why I'm handling this now. I've been waiting on the owner to respond to me. Calculator 2484 divided by 4 is 621. Sweet. Yeah, man, it's finally all starting to come together. So today, today I got my email that all of my onboarding background checks and processes have completed, and I should probably speed up before I stall and kill us. But yeah, got the email today that everything is set with the new job. Got my start dates. So I'm gonna get a little bit closer. Someone from my team, aka dispatch, will let's say top of descent reached. I think so. But they'll send you know, more in-depth details for our first day items and stuff. So really the last item on the agenda was just for all of us to agree on an Airbnb, which I found it pretty quick, and it's absolutely perfect for our needs. And then it's just a matter of getting it booked. But you know, when it's myself and 3 others, you know, kind of coordinate it and shit. Like, we all agree, this is the place we want, cool, agree with the price, alright. But then I had to, like, talk to the damn Airbnb owner first before finalizing the reservation. Then there was a discrepancy in the amount due today. What, like $13,000 more than it was supposed to. So got that clarified, and so it's all good. So now I just need these dudes to send me their money and get the shit booked. But Andrew, The new job is I'll be leaving Spirit Airlines at the end of January, and I'll be starting at Delta Airlines in flight dispatch on February 2nd. So super stoked about it. Super grateful, because it was definitely made possible by more than just myself. Got a lot of great friends at Delta who stuck their necks out for me, as well as some other folks. And yeah, it's a dream come true. It is it's the #1 airline in the world based off of gross revenue, which is crazy. And they give a huge shit about their employees and treat them really well. And this has been like the ultimate job goal. I've always wanted to make it back to Delta, to my roots. And so yeah, it's crazy. We did a stream yesterday to announce it, which I need to go back and add chapters so that people can easily find it in that stream. But yeah, we talked about it yesterday, kind of the pros and cons. So the cons is that OJT and ground school are going to last about 5 months, and so during that period I'll be commuting from Orlando to Atlanta. I work Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. for the first 2 months while I'm in initial ground school. So during that time, the streams are going to be very sparse. The content's going to be relatively sparse, aside from maybe whatever like IRL footage that I can get while I'm commuting around. But yeah, so for those first few months, there's be pretty lacking on the streams, because I'll basically get home Friday night, be home Saturday, and then back to Atlanta on Sunday. So with such limited time, I'm sure Crystal's going to want to spend as much time together as possible and all that stuff. So that's the con. The pro is that once I'm on OJT and then signed off, I'll be on a 4-on, 3-off, 4-on, 4-off schedule, which will give me more time off than what I currently have right now at Spirit, and I will be able to stream more and provide more content. And also the different types of operations that Delta does compared to Spirit. Obviously my knowledge will increase, and I will get to share that kind of stuff with you guys, and teach whatever stuff I'm learning. So looking forward to it. Have you applied with United Flight Dispatcher? They've been hiring a lot. I have not. United is one airline that I've just never been interested in. I have quite a number of friends there, and they don't, like, the one and only good thing that they have to say is the money is good. Aside from that, they said it's like a very toxic work environment. It's just not like the best place to be. That even like their systems and software is not the best. And I've never cared to live in Chicago, Illinois. Too damn cold for me. So back to the same old schedule you have. Yeah, sorta. Kind of a hybrid. So like back in the day, like when I first started streaming, I worked 7 on, 7 off. Then I became a manager and went to 4 on, 4 off. Then when I went to ops manager, I went to a 4 on, 3 off. And then now that I'm back to a dispatch and ATC manager, but now I'm the only one, whereas prior there were 6 of us. Now I'm on a 5-2 schedule, so I don't know how much more time off I can lose at Spirit, but it'll be nice. The pros to being a like frontline employee or like a flight dispatcher versus management is you get to leave work at work. You know, when you turn over and you go home, you leave work at work. There's no like meetings that you got to attend, or you don't have to have like one foot in the operation at all times and kind of know what's going on at all times. So it's going to be nice to just kind of like, you know, be able to Like obviously when you're on the desk, it's going to be a little bit more stressful, depending on the day and the weather and ATC and all that kind of stuff. But to leave work at work will be nice, and not have to worry about jumping on weekly meetings. And, I mean, I've had times that I've had to, like, I get off of work at 5:30 in the morning and then have to turn around and wake up early to attend a meeting that I'm required to be on. So no more of that stuff. Delta's the best run airline in the country, I think also potentially in the world, especially for its size. From just a pure DOT A14 standpoint. So I'm just looking forward to saddling up the horse and seeing how well the horse rides. Hopefully she's quiet and gentle. I bet, oh fuck yeah dude, I would, 100%. I was talking with my coworker today about that. Her and her boyfriend, no, her and her fiance are going to Maine next week, and they're going to do some skiing and snowboarding, and she's never done either. And so I was showing her some live webcams in Jackson Hole as well as Park City, showing her like some of the ski lodges and stuff. But yeah, fuck yeah dude, 100%. That place was like tailor-made for me, aside from being extremely expensive. Is Delta using flight keys? They are in the process of transitioning to it. Got a good friend of mine that is on their transition team. So yeah, they will be on it. But I'm sure they'll continue having to use Delta term and stuff like that. So you wouldn't miss the management part? I think I would, to be honest. Like I said, there's pros and cons to both. Like with management, at least at Spirit, there's a lot more freedom. There's a lot less oversight, a lot more trust. You know, if I don't really have much on my calendar at that particular time, and I want to like go jump in the car and drive down to McDonald's and get one of those brand new Grinch adult Happy Meals, which I did today, I can do that. But as a dispatcher, technically I can do that, but I've got to make sure somebody's watching my desk and all that kind of shit. And come back, I'll catch up on whatever, you know, happened, and kind of get briefed on what happened. Like every now and then, dispatchers, like one dispatcher will make a food run for everybody. But at a place like Delta, and as big as Delta is, like how big the campus is, probably how long it takes to like get from the third floor all the way out to your car and go through security and leave campus and then go get food and then come back through security. It's a pretty big campus. It's probably a lot harder to do that. And with dispatch being a safety role, you're not really supposed to leave your desk that much, aside from using the bathroom. So, again, pros and cons. There will definitely be parts of management that I miss, or I will miss. But, you know, who knows? Maybe I'll end up in management again one day at Delta. They probably require a bunch of degrees and bullshit, but I don't know. A good friend of mine that's there, has been there for a while. She said that if she thinks it's the perfect move for me, Delta is the perfect company for me, like based off of my character and who I am. And she said, you know, like get here, get through training, dispatch for 3 years, and after 3 years, like a whole lot of doors will open up for you and a bunch of different stuff that you can do throughout the airline. So, I don't know exactly what all that means or what all there is to do, but it sounds intriguing if you ask me. What was the hiring process like? For a place like Delta, it was surprisingly chill. So back in the day, and I just want to share this to like convey how grateful I am they don't do it anymore. But Delta had a test called the Wonderlic test, and it's very, very similar to taking the SAT or the ACT with like math and reading comprehension, etc. Right? And I am terrible at standardized tests like that. Absolutely terrible at them. Fortunately, after COVID, they got rid of that. They had to hire, I think it was 200 dispatchers within like 2 years or some insane number, right? Most people are not going to pass that Wonderlic test, so they abandoned that. And now it's just a simple critical thinking assessment. Spirit does the same thing to a slightly different degree, but it was the same whenever I applied at Spirit. I had to take an assessment that was like, you know, finish the pattern type stuff. So you take a critical thinking assessment, and it's got like I'm trying to remember, it's got like, you have to figure out the logic of the pattern, to finish the pattern. Then another section was, you would have like, you have a little airplane that you can like click and drag left and right, and then there will be things that would hurt the airplane, like lightning bolts, thunderstorm cloud, tornado, whatever. But they're like kind of resemble constraints, right? And they're falling down, and you have to move the airplane left and right to keep it from getting hit by anything. But at the same time, you have to solve a math problem, and you also have to there's something else that you do. And honestly, I just got to the point where like I just kept the airplane from getting hit with the math problem. Basically, it was like a true or false on the math problem. It was like, is this the answer, yes or no? And then what the third thing was, you could also like kind of guess. But with the math stuff, like I'm pretty slow with mental math, and so through some of the prep ware that I was doing, because there are like websites you can take prep tests. I found that if I just like guessed, you got a 50-50 shot. If I just guessed, most of the time I got it right, and I could get through a hell of a lot more of them that way than actually trying to solve the math while keeping the airplane from getting hit and while solving whatever the other thing was that was super simple. So there was that. There were ATC recordings in various different accents. I think it was 20 ATC recordings. So it'd go through each one by one. You would have multiple choice answers, and you could listen to the recording 3 times. The accents were very, very thick. It's kind of hard to understand, but the main point of it all, like you could read out a clearance, and you don't have to remember like the name of the SID or the star or any of that stuff. It's like you just kind of have to remember the juicy stuff, like the heading, altitude, you know, stuff of that nature, right? So that part was pretty easy. Write down, like have a little piece of paper and kind of like quickly jot down stuff you need to, but I'm pretty sure I got every one of those right. Flight Sim definitely helps with that, but like I said, the accents are very, very thick. So you gotta listen close, but you could like, it's pretty easy to get through them, especially with the process of elimination. What else was on there? Can't remember what else was on there. But it was, if I can pass it, anybody can pass it, because I am terrible at those kind of critical thinking tests. So then, once you pass the assessment, so there's the assessment, then right after the assessment, you take a psychological test. And ultimately what it's doing is it's going to ask you a series of questions. And you'll choose which one you agree with most. And then within that question, you choose, or is it one question? I think it asks you 2 questions. And between the 2, you choose which one is like more that you agree with, and then you select like how much you agree with it. But if you're paying close attention, you'll notice it's asking you the same question multiple times, just in different ways, to make sure that you're answering it consistently, and you're not like, no, your answers aren't changing, and that kind of shit. And you really have to not get in the mindset of like, what does Delta 1 need to say? You really just kind of have to be true to yourself and answer it. And if you do, you should answer everything consistently. Still doesn't mean you're going to answer it how they want it answered, but you'll answer consistently. So you get through the assessment and the psychological test. If you pass that, then if you're selected for an interview, because I think even if you pass the assessment doesn't mean you're selected for the interview. You pass the assessment and you get selected for an interview, then you go straight into a face-to-face interview at their Delta campus. It's an hour long. It's very chill. It's very conversational. They'll ask a few aircraft systems questions. They'll kind of run through a few little scenarios. You'll derive alternate minimums with a single nav aid, two nav aid rule. You'll show like you chose this runway at the alternate and why you chose that runway. But yeah, it's like it's crazy how chill it was for a job that's of this magnitude. But I was nervous to hell and back, like beyond nervous. So nervous that my mouth completely dried out and I was struggling to talk. But I enjoyed it at the same time. I sat up in front of a panel of 3 guys. The panel changes every day, so all the groups of interviewees will have different interviewers. But it's all the same questions. Everybody gets asked the same questions. Yeah, like it was enjoyable. I didn't hate it. So that was it. After that, got the email that actually I got the phone call about a month later. And I will say this too: if you ever apply at Delta, it is not a fast process. I think I got the assessment 3 weeks after I applied, and then it took like a week and a half until I found out that I passed. And then maybe a few weeks after that, I got selected for the interview. And then like 3 weeks after the interview, got the call. It's not a fast process, but it's chill. But they gave me the call and extended the verbal job offer if I'm still interested. Told them, hell yeah. And then I think it's 2 days later, I got the email to begin the onboarding processes of doing fingerprints, background check, fill out some stuff online, a few different things. So that's about it. So in summary, to make it short, you apply, take the assessment and psychological test, in-person interview, and that's it. United's test, I hear, is extremely hard. That it's the kind of test that, like, if you would have left dispatch school yesterday, you would do fine on it. But if you've like gone through real-world dispatch, got some real-world experience where the logic and the FARs are built into the software, so you're not having to think about stuff like landing within 60% of runway, 1, 2, 3 rule, where like at least our software can assess the 1, 2, 3 rule automatically. But you know, it's like there's so much stuff that you don't really use in the real world, and then they ask you all that stuff on a assessment for a job. So I had a lot of my colleagues, a lot of my dispatchers went to United, took the test. Most of them flunked it, and a lot of them have years of experience. But you basically got to prep for the ADX for United and American. Aptitude test? Yeah, it was an aptitude test. I guess that's the right way to put it. Dispatch question. You have a flight that is in the air and maintenance comes to you that the nav light is out on the aircraft, and you check the MEL and it's not to be operated between sunset and sunrise. What would you do? My first question is, why am I finding out about this when the aircraft is in the air? That's my first question. mean, at this point, it doesn't really matter because now, I wouldn't say everything's illegal per se, but if it's not deferred, if it's not, yeah, if we don't have an active MEL for it, they're just going to operate it like it's running, and then defer it when they land. That's really about all you can do. But yeah, my first question being, why in the hell am I being told this when my airplane's in the air? Maintenance forgot to add it, and it is in the air, and it's past civil twilight. I'm also going to be asking the captain why he took off without an amendment to his OFP. We're going to ASAP it, and we're going to continue. It's more of a legality than it is an actual safety concern. In that particular scenario, I'm pretty sure the captain and I would agree that there's no safety of flight issue. So we'll continue, and then yeah, I'll be fine after that, because then the MEL would be in the system and would be applied to future OFPs. Theoretically, you could, I guess, turn around. A lot of that's going to depend on where they're at in the flight, but I almost feel like you could introduce more threats by returning than just continuing. That's kind of going down the rabbit hole a little bit, but it's not really a safety of flight issue. It's really just more a legality kind of thing. But now if it's like flight's en route, weather radar goes down, and we got convection ahead of us and you can't go around it, then we're probably going to air return. Or if there's thunderstorms in the way of the air return, we'll try to divert somewhere that's going to avoid as much of the convection as possible. So something like that, like a weather radar, or like a bleed valve, something like that, where you lose de-icing. Anti-ice capabilities. Those are safety of flight issues, and then you just have to do your best to steer them around any of those conditions. Initially thought to divert, but makes sense. Yeah, it's not really doing anybody a favor, because ultimately the airplane is airborne with a deferral that was not added to the OFP. So diverting definitely doesn't help the airline, doesn't help the passengers when they can land, and then it gets added to the OFP for the recovery leg, which will be from the diversion airport to the original destination. But yeah, like, you're burning a lot of money and screwing over the passengers that way. So if it's not a safety of flight issue, just gonna continue. But good question though. I have two questions. Who let the plane take off? And what's wrong with you, Captain, in fire maintenance? So a little bit of turbulence there. Funny you say that. This stuff happens a lot more than you would imagine. A lot of it comes down to the airline's procedures and applying MELs and that kind of stuff, but it happens fairly often where pilots push off, they're taxiing, they get a fault, they call maintenance, it's a quick over the phone deferral kind of thing, flight crew pull some circuit breakers, go through the whole procedure, right? Write it up in the logbook, and then they kind of get task saturated, and that's going to kind of disrupt their whole flow in the cockpit, right? So they kind of get distracted with trying to get themselves back into that rhythm, back into that flow. All right, what were you doing? So they start to continue their taxi while they wait for the amendment, and then just kind of get caught up in that flow, in that cadence, and forget to get the amendment before they take off. So in that time that they are taxiing, maintenance control is finishing up the paperwork on their end, call the dispatcher, give them the MEL number. The dispatcher looks up the MEL, make sure there's no safety concerns with that MEL, and that the flight is still legal to operate with that MEL. And then they type up the amendment, send the amendment over ACARS, which has about a 2-minute lag. And so by the time that they're finally getting the ACARS, the crew may have just kind of got like sucked in, back into the rhythm of the flight, forgot about the amendment, and took off without it. Happens frequently. I've had ASAP flights many times for that. Just a way to kind of cover my butt. And it's not my fault, it's a dispatcher, because all this stuff can be going on where like the crew is working through a write-up, but they don't tell me about it. They just call straight into maintenance control. Maintenance control goes through the process with them on the phone, hangs up the phone, crew starts their taxi, and all this stuff's happening, and me as the dispatcher, I'm completely left out of the loop. And because of this happening, policy changed where it was then mandatory for pilots to call dispatch to advise them of the write-up, and then dispatch would transfer the call to maintenance control to handle the write-up. That way the dispatcher's in the know and ready to get the amendment when the maintenance control has it ready. But even still, that doesn't keep the flight crew from kind of getting back into the groove of the flight and accidentally taking off without the amendment. So it happens. You just ASAP it, explain what happened. Now, if like you get the MEL and you never send it to them, the pilots should be hitting you up like, hey, we're coming up short of the runway and we need an amendment for the nav light deferral. Shoot it off. So if they're paying attention to it, they should be asking you, but they shouldn't even have to do that. As soon as maintenance control hits you up, you should be getting that to them within a minute or two. So long as there's no issues. Sometimes we'll have a deferral that's going to have a performance hit, so that's going to slow things down. But the crew should be very aware of that, and probably won't even re-initiate their taxi until they have the appropriate stuff from dispatch to make sure they're even good to take off in the first place. Not necessarily takeoff numbers, but like there could be penalties that could affect like en route fuel burn, different things, right? So those, the pilots are typically like the ones that really matter and actually have like a legit effect on the flight. The pilots are far more aware of that and far less likely to take off without that amendment. But it's the little things they'll accidentally take off. Yep. All right, where are we at in this thing? Oh shit, we're almost top of drop. All right. Let's see. Quickly, current weather in Glacier Park. Perf. Wind is 190 at 10. Temperature is 5. It's icing conditions because we got light rain. And then 2965. That's low pressure. Barrel mins on the approach is 3346. Alright, let's go to the top hat flow while we got some quick time. KGPI 20. 5 mile range ring. Rad nav, we're going to leave that in auto tune. Prog KGPI 20. Perf we already did. Fuel prediction. Jesus, we've got an hour and 28 minutes of extra fuel. Secondary flight plan, we're going to delete the secondary. And there's not really anything else that we can put in here. ILS runway 2 would be a tailwind. RNAV 20 is the most fun anyways. Everything else is too short, so oh well. I don't think this has a way of giving us, yeah, it just has takeoff numbers. We don't have a way to calculate landing distance. So we'll go auto brake medium. I also don't know if this airplane has FLS. I don't think it does. But we'll turn it on and see if it gives us carrots. And if it don't, we'll turn it on. That's a good question. Hang on 1 second. Take a swig of water. Alright, so Endeavor 54, 59 did some loops yesterday before going around Savannah. Did a minimal fuel for an RJ needs to be before diverting. I don't because a few different reasons. One, CRJ fuel burns are vastly different from like a 320, 321. I'm obviously most familiar with the Airbus 320 family burns. So like for a 320, reserve fuel is going to be like on average like roughly 3,300 pounds of gas. Very average. CRJ, 45 minutes for them would be like, I don't know, 1,500 pounds. It's going to be a lot less because it's a much smaller airplane. So their numbers are way different. So the other variable is that if they have an alternate, we don't know what their alternate is, but their bingo fuel or their divert fuel is going to be largely dependent upon what the alternate is. So the further the alternate, the more fuel that they need to get to the alternate, right? So for the, like, by the regulations, when you divert, you would land at your diversion airport with 45-minute reserve. So let's just say if they're in Savannah and they divert to Charleston, that's pretty close. So who knows? Like if reserve is 1,500 pounds and then the burn to Charleston is 1,000 pounds, their bingo fuel is going to be 2,500 pounds. But let's say reserve is still 1,500, but yet their alternate is Atlanta, which is a lot further away, and maybe that burn is 2,500 pounds. So now you would need 25, 35, 4,000 pounds is your bingo fuel. So it's going to change based off of what their alternate is. Also, the lighter the airplane, the less fuel is needed for the 45-minute reserve because the burn is less. And the more passengers you have, the more fuel that 45 minutes is going to be because it's a heavier airplane, which means higher burns. So you can't really say, and I haven't dispatched CRJs before. I used to dispatch ERJ 145s. but that was like 8 years ago. So I couldn't even give you like a good average. But good questions though. Alright guys, we are descending into Glacier Park. Let's see, what's my initial approach fixed altitude? Cab, 10,000 feet, perfect, that's what we got in there. So Glacier Park does kind of sit in a valley. So that's going to make this a fun approach. So as you can see here, we got the airport, we got all of this terrain that it's sitting down in. So we'll come in to Bickup and kind of make this circling RNAV turn inbound. Go miss, then we'll continue on, do this, then come back and do it all over again. Alright, so let's brief it up real quick. I'll highlight this stuff to kind of make it so y'all can kind of see what my flow is for briefing these approaches. But anyways, we're planning the RNAV RMP runway 20. Charts 12-21. It's effective 18th July 2025. RNAV approach, final approach course 200 degrees, intercept the glide path at I-Day 8,700 feet. Precision altitude 3346 with touchdown zone elevation of 2977. Minimum safe altitude is 11,200 feet. If we go missed, let's circle all this. If we go missed, we'll climb to 10,000 on track 200 degrees to call. Left turn to Daughtry, left turn to Debris, and on track 128 degrees to Angel, and hold, continue to climb to 10,000 feet. Transition levels 18,000. Standard 3-degree glide slope. Minimals for this approach 369 foot ceilings with 1 mile viz. So since weather is reported and the nearest 100th, we would round this 369 up to 400. So we need 400 foot ceilings and 1 mile viz to initiate the approach. Well, actually, Viz is controlling, so as long as you have the visibility, you can initiate the approach. Even if the ceilings are showing below minimums, so let's say we had a 300 foot ceiling, but the minimum is 400, we can still initiate the approach as long as we have 1 mile visibility. Visibility is always controlling. Alright, so once we land, we'll be coming in on runway 20, coming in this direction. So it'll be a right-hand turn-off. So we'll probably turn off at Bravo 8 or Bravo 7. And then we're going to be parking over here at the FBO at ramp 33. Runway 20 has high-intensity runway lights, approach lights, PAPI on the left. The PAPIs are on a 30-degree glide path, the runway's grooved, and it's 150 feet wide. Activate lights on 124.55. We'll probably do that. Because I have this little add-on. It's this thing, 124.55. Pilot controlled lighting status. We'll see if we can't brighten the lights up. It may not work until we get closer. We'll keep an eye on this. Why can't I move that? Yeah, man. You are very welcome. Nolan, what up, brother? What it do? Man, just another late night, wrong side, red eye, trying to push a little bit of content. I'm gonna try to get as much out as I can before February rolls around. Then it's gonna be real sparse while I'm in initial ground school for 7 weeks. But what it do with you? You working? Well, I'm gonna be ready for bed after this. I usually try to be asleep by 2 a.m. and it is 2 a.m. Damn it, can't stop yawning. Uh-oh, got a text from a buddy of mine at Delta. My dude, sorry it's so late. I'm just here after my shift and put on your stream about that announcement. NVIDIA applied, but congrats. Love it. Study is the name of the game. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be right there with you. I took a picture of my little sim setup, and I sent it to the 3 guys that we're all getting an Airbnb together during ground school in OJT, and I mentioned that I might bring some of it because I don't know if I could go that long without flying. And one of them made a comment, was like, yep, when I talked to so-and-so at Delta, they said that we're only gonna have, like, the only thing that we're going to have time to do is study. It's like, oh God, that's not what I want to hear. To this text real quick, guys. That's why I'm silent. I hate that my camera's not working. I mean, I can actually see what I'm doing. I don't feel like I have to narrate everything I'm doing so that you know what I'm doing, so you can't see me. Alright. Yep, I hope they have you at a hotel instead of the dorm. It's kind of a gift and a curse, though. So, I don't know anything about the dorms, but, yeah, me and 3 of my fellow Spirit guys that are going to Delta. There's 7 of us total. But 3 of them and myself are going to be getting an Airbnb. We're in the process of booking it. We just picked it out tonight. It's about 5 minutes south of the airport, which the global headquarters is on the north side. So we have to go all the way around the airport. So I think our drive's going to be like 10 to 15 minutes. But yeah, we're going to have a fully furnished Airbnb, Wi-Fi. Like, it's going to be a nice little pad for the 4 of us. It's got 3 bedrooms, 2 full bathrooms. It's got a dedicated office, so we could probably take one of those double beds, put it in the office, and make that like a fourth bedroom if we all are just like hell bent on having our private bedrooms. But yeah, it should make it kind of fun because it's gonna be us like 4 bros. We'll be able to be study partners. It'd be nice to like get off work, kind of have a beer, hang out and study a little bit, all that kind of stuff. So it could definitely be worse. But I'm gonna commute until July, and that's when my lease is up. And then me and Crystal will make the permanent move to Atlanta. And it's gonna be tough for her because her entire life is here. Gym, friends, family, her job. She loves the doctor she works with. So unfortunately, she'll have to get uprooted from all of that. But it will definitely be worth it in the long run. We'll have those Delta flight benefits. And Daytona and Orlando is only like 45-50 minutes flying time from Atlanta. So if Crystal wants to go home and see family, she can be there in an hour. And then same for me. It gets me a lot closer to my family. I can be home, visit my family in just over an hour. I can be in Baton Rouge direct to go watch some LSU games. So it's going to be good in the long road. Quite a substantial pay cut in the beginning, but after I get signed off, I should be making more money than what I make now. Should. Haven't seen the pay scale. Really, going into this with somewhat blind trust. I mean, Delta's like the cream of the crop, right? Like I don't really need to see the pay scale. Like I know it's going to be good. I know I'll be treated fairly and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, well, I guess I'll just check out the pay scale on my first day. Make sure you go to the Speedline Cafe on campus. Okay, yeah, I haven't heard of that. I know they got a Chick-fil-A on campus. That's the only thing I'm aware of. But I'll definitely, I'm sure I'll find out. I got a lot of friends at Delta. Like, Delta is like miniature Spirit Dispatch. I could be there in 2 hours. Hey, there you go. Is it really 2 hours from Sioux Falls to Atlanta? I think it'd be a little bit less than that. But it's probably close to 2 hours, I'd guess. Really happy for you, man. Dude, I appreciate it. So, how's things with your flight training? Still pushing away on that? Shaq just went to his, he's in Indianapolis right now for the public onboarding. And he got to see the sim bay today, see all the FTDs, the touchscreen trainers, that kind of stuff. So happy for him because now he's kind of getting to get his eyes on the prize. Obviously, he's not shit. Let's see, what's our 30? Bro, did I close the? No, I didn't. 2965. Disregard that because I didn't change the left side fast enough. 2965. Engine anti-ice on. Burning everybody up in this airplane. 27 degrees Celsius. Yeesh. I don't know how close I need to get to this damn airport. But aside from looking at the chart and tell me activate the lights on 2455. I don't know where else I would go to find pilot controlled lights. PCL connected with light intensity off. still no terrain. It's dangerous. What about on this side? Nope. No terrain on that side either. I've had this pilot controlled lights program for a while and have yet to be able to get it, like, to figure it out. Let me try tower frequency. 32,620. Well, no, CTAP's 2455. 32,625. Annoying though. Ah, okay, 2 hours gate to gate. That makes sense. Whenever I think time, I think like airborne time. Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that, dude. Don't ever give up on that shit. I want to see you flying one day. I want to jump seat with you one day. To go. So we get rain streaking across the windscreen, but not on the back windows. MIDI builds. We are picking up some ice though. Just a little bit. Alright, speed alt star. Whoa. What is the airplane doing, boy? Descent. It even says descent. This is weather in the mountains. Oh, this is probably not going to work because it's a third-party add-on. That's probably why. So what's the constraint? Because I don't see a constraint right here. And our glide path is running away. Woo. Huh. Those mountains are close. Yeah, that's what I got in there. HJJ 124.55. But I don't think this add-on is compatible with third-party airports. I think it's only compatible with default airports. So, sucks. In the soup, yep. Well, yes, we are. Taking forever to get around this approach. But it's coming. This would not be fun in real life. I can attest that landing with big ass mountains around and windy conditions is very bumpy. Zero routes, pilot controlled landing airports. Huh, this is a cool website. Interesting. Yeah, 'cause that's what I got in there. Alright, you fucking airplane. Why is it not descending? Those are not 10,000 foot constraints. Well, I guess, yeah, it's at or above maybe. But the glide path is running away. Not having terrain is like really bugging me out. It says at evil at or above 10,000. And we're at 8,000, so like that's not good.
2,500.
2,500. That's also not good to hear. Like, we might slam into a mountain. cross Evil at 8,000. But yeah, it's fucking any builds, dude. It thinks that we're like way off. It's for 2,100 feet. Oh, now, okay, so now it wants to look. So if it thinks that we are high, then why in the shit is the indicator down here like we're low? We'll stay at 8,000 to hover. See what that does. Why is it no fucking terrain though? They claim it's for the ones who love added realism, but who the fuck likes realism in flights? No shit. No shit. 100%. Alright, I'm gonna start this replay. We are recording. It just keeps getting higher and higher. Now it's coming down. Now it's higher. Okay, I don't fucking know. I don't know how we're gonna be able to land this airplane. So we aren't even like on the correct path. Chemtrails, what's up, man? You're about to watch a super botched landing thanks to any builds being a piece of shit. It's been saying that we've been like 2,300 feet high, even though we've been crossing the waypoints at their required altitudes. What Black Spot talks about today has something to do with it, temperature versus ISO deviation. Oh. Huh. Maybe. We're slowly catching up to it, so I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens.
$2,500.
Glacier Park traffic. Delta 8800 heavy is 5 miles, runway 20. Glacier Park. Yeah, nothing don't have FLS. And it just is going to blow by it, or is it going to fly it? Pappy's in sight, 2 red, 2 white. Corresponds with the glide path of the RNAV. So that might help a little bit. Runway.
Above. 400. Minimum 300.
We're landing.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Stuck that one on. I don't know, man. I am not a fan of these any builds default airplanes. Ah, janky, janky. Glacier Park traffic, Delta 8800 Heavy is clear of runway 20, Glacier Park. Alright, let's clean it up. All right, Vaughn. Sounds good, my friend. Thank you for joining and hanging out with us throughout the flight. Have a great night. Get some good sleep. All right, let's come back up. Never mind. Wouldn't be that big of a difference. Yeah. This 100% indie builds issue and simply not putting too much attention. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I just haven't flown them very much, especially 321 Neo and the 320 Neo. Just MIDI builds all day. Heard that basically they sold it to a subo and a subo is responsible for updating it. I don't know how true that is, but read on Discord forums. Interesting. Should have done it in real time? Yeah. dark like this. I just wanted to fly at, like, do the en route portion during the day so we could, like, have stuff to look at. Alright, APU's at fail. We need to get our ground crews out. One ramp. 33. Also, what we'll do real quick. Good looking airplane, I'll give it that. Systems wise, it's just it's rough. Alright, so then I need Shift F, and then alright, so now I'm gonna control the airplane. Oh. Even the control thing. Alright, brake sets, load them up, and shut them down. That's weird. It won't give me like deboard or any of that stuff, which is fine. Just want to do a replay and call it night anyways. But yeah, like, so ever since Sim Big 4, some of these bindings are kind of fickle. Like when I want to go into drone mode, if I tap my button one time, it kind of does that. Fail, like skips real quick. Sometimes it does it fine, like that's fine. But right there, boom, 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 boom. I'm hitting the key one time. So whenever I'm in drone mode, I'm gonna get to it. Then I can push C where I can take control of the airplane. But it's like that button is doing the same thing, where it gives me control for a split second, then it reverts back to no control. And it's annoying. But when GSX comes out on the 19th, we'll be able to do our cinematic views, our flybys, or taxibys. We'll be able to do all that stuff and still have control of the airplane. So, don't have to wait a whole lot longer dealing with this shitty camera system. And I'm ready for Chase Plane to come on out. I still go pay where any or the Phoenix lineup wished Blessing Labs would give us the Pratt & Whitneys. I do too, but at the same time, I think I'd rather just wait for Phoenix. Because Phoenix is just, man, they just get everything like right on point. Oh shit. Tim Trails came in here in real life. That's awesome. this is definitely on Crystal and I's bucket list to fly in the Glacier Park and go hike around Glacier Park. One day, it'll happen. Let's do this. Ground, chalks. Bro, I really gotta go set it myself. Trying. Let's go pull up some stairs. There's not even stairs available. But yeah, Glacier Park's it's a big one on our list. Probably gonna be the next place. Either that or Yosemite will be the next ones we go. Bluebird 75 will release while you're off 100%. It 100% will. And I won't even be able to fly it. I'll be so sad. Rented a car with my FO and 2 flight attendants, so man, I'm jealous. That's awesome. One of the worst places to get the ice though. 1 truck and 4 early. Ooh, yeah, that's bad. Even Monroe, Louisiana is more equipped than that. Wait, Chase Plane's coming out soon. Yep. So if you go to their website, Parallel 42, they have this as the head banner or whatever you want to call it. And these are all like little clues. And so this one was Flow Pro that came out on the 5th, which, as you know, is that. I don't know what the thing is that's coming out on the 12th. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's some sort of flight effects or something. And then there's this. And that is definitely Chase Plane. So as we can tell, Chase Plane should be coming out on the 19th. And then the 26th looks like a Santa bag or something. Not really sure what that is. What release that's gonna be. I bought this too, by the way. Go fishing. I think I bought that. I did buy that. No, that's a Breaker Truck somewhere. No, I didn't. Juice Goose is dope too. Alright, we'll stop the recording. And get the camera over and watch a couple replays, and I'm going to bed. Got to be at work in the morning. Make sure everything does what it's supposed to do. Brakes are off. And of course my mouse just died. After Christmas will come the Patriot airplane. Okay. Yeah, that Bush airplane. I do remember saying something about that. but I don't know too much about it. But I love Parallel 42's bush sceneries and all that stuff. So much fun. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, yeah. Now I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah, this is one of those airplanes you have to like do it to, like I have to put it in reverse with my physical thrust levers or to actually show the animations correctly. This is a like an old FS 2020 scenery. I used to love this scenery, but now it's a little bit outdated. Not terrible. Kind of cool seeing that big of an airplane land at a airport this small. Sexy. Down. There it goes. It was stuck. Hey, doing some weird stuff. Man, I was trying to get the Airplane cleanup. I guess the lights aren't going to turn off. There you go. Good looking airplane. Nice stream, wrong side of airborne now. On my way to the islands to meet Marco. Hey, there you go. Tell Marco I said what's up. Been slowly flying a 320 Neo and 321 Neos by any builds. Wish someone would just make some tweaks. I agree, man. Like the rotate law transitioning into normal law is very weird feeling to me. Maybe I'm just really used to Phoenix. I don't know, but it's just like there's a noticeable difference between rotate law and normal law, and especially in this plane. Like, I've always had to kind of manhandle the side stick a bit more in the 320 and 321 on rotation. And this one, like, I barely gave any back pressure, and we drug our tail. We drug our ass straight across the pavement. Get one more angle, then we'll do one more window landing, and then I'm gonna be off to bed. Hopefully Rue doesn't yell at me or bark at me whenever I come in. Wake Crystal up. Like she loves to do. Well, I'll say Sim Update 4's performance has been incredibly smooth. Good to see you too, Chemtrails. Hope you have a wonderful night, my friend. Sleep good when you get there. Tell Wendy I said hello. That's right, yeah. 3 a.m. my neck of the woods. Well, alright guys, I'm gonna let this kind of play through. I might speed up some portions of this, but I do hope you enjoyed this stream. I always do. There's nothing more fun that I can think of than flying Delta jets into big Delta jets into little airports that don't belong. That's why I called it a charter flight, so I can do whatever I want. And y'all can't yell at me about realism. Innovation. I wish the captain up front would stop thinking that ding dong bell. Oh, I know why it's doing that, because of the landing gear. Yeah, stop. But guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this stream. Glacier Park's always fun to fly into. Doing this little kind of half circling approach type RMP maneuver. Hey, look at that. Choo-choo trains. Choo-choo train. That's a freeware mod, by the way, if y'all want trains. I think it's made for 2020, but it works in 24 as well. But I hope y'all enjoyed it. I had a great time. Hoping to stream again, not tomorrow night, but maybe the next night. Whenever Crystal doesn't go play her, as I call, tickle balls. It's really pickleball, but I call it tickle balls. But when she's not playing that, she comes straight home. Those are the nights that I get to stream. So hopefully in the next couple nights we'll get another one in. Maybe fly either the A330 or the 321neo. But we'll fly those two airplanes to kind of wrap up our streak of Airbus side stick flying, and then hopefully PMDG will get their damn 737 out, and we'll mount the yoke back to the desk, and we'll get some 7.3 action in. We go do some Alaska flying, or hell, go somewhere else in the world. I don't know. There's one thing I'm happy about with Foreflight. Foreflight has now kind of given me the confidence to just jump into VATSIM in other places other than the United States. But for those of y'all who haven't gone to sleep yet, hope you sleep well when you get to it. As always, I am Wrong Side, or I'm Blake. Wrong Side Simulations. And as always, be good, or be good at it. Keep it on the wrong side. I will see y'all on the next one. Have a great morning. You know what, guys? I'm just gonna refly this. Or maybe not. I might kill us all instead. Let's try this again, shall we? I don't know if I'm going to get this airplane under control with all the weird config stuff it needs to do. Let's see if we can't butter this one. Damn, same as the last one.
100.